Hello lovely people, we're kind of doing this backwards because I've just filmed the second of the two videos and now we're filming the first one because I thought I'd filmed the first one but I'd only filmed half of it, so we're just doing it again. If you're wondering what she's talking about, I'm also wondering the same thing. Today we're here to do the nervous guide for boop, Waitress. So if you want to know everything you need to know about the show before you go into it, stick around and we'll get into it in 2 whole seconds. So yes, we're here to do the nervous guide. If you're thinking what do you mean 2 videos, let's get into that spiel and let's do it super fast. For every show that I see, I like to do 2 separate videos, time and willing permitted. The first one is this one. This is the nervous guide. That is everything you need to know before you go into the show, whether that be content and sensory warnings, information about the theatre, information about my seat and a view from my seat, merchandise bought. I always feel like I'm missing something, but I don't think I have. Basically, like I said, anything you need to know about a show before you go into it, that's this video. The next video is the review. The review is usually, and not this time, put in inverted commas because at the end of the day I'm in no way professional. I just like theatre, I like talking about stuff, and sometimes I go see things alone, and when you go alone you don't have a chance to talk about the people you enjoyed, the performances you enjoyed, the things you'd maybe change, etc. And that is the review. Whew, not bad. So yes, let's get into things to do with this show. Let's start from the very good beginning because that's a very good place to start. I nearly burst into Sound of Music then. Let's start with merchandise because I have it in my hand. I bought the programme. It cost me £5. It is a house programme, that's why it says Grand on the bottom. It is the Wolves Grand own in-house programme. I am unsure if they have a souvenir brochure for this tour or not. I did have a cheeky look on various websites prior to going to the theatre and found that most of the things that they were selling as the merch for this tour are what they used to sell back in the day in London, and that meant I already had the pin badge, which is a glorious pin badge. If you haven't got it and you are a collector of them when you go and see shows, it is a pie. It's glorious. It's one of my favourites in my pin collection. I'm literally staring at it right now. But because I already had the pin, I didn't need to buy it again. There is jumpers, there is t-shirts, there is all sorts. I think even for this tour they've got a wooden spoon, possibly a wooden spatula, but I don't want to start collecting random things on top of every other collection that I've got because we're on 3 theatre based collections already, we don't need more. So yeah, all I got was the programme. Let's go to seat next. So for this I booked 2 days prior to going to see the show because why be forward planning when you can just book the day before? So I was, for this show, sat in the dress circle in F10. My view looked like this. My view also changed after 2 people in the row in front of me actually left after about 10 minutes of the show and didn't come back. I don't know if it was down to the subject matter of the show or if something happened. I wasn't questioning, they left. So my view became really good in the end because I already had the seat in front of me free, and then 2 seats next to that suddenly became free, so there was nobody who's moving their head. I had a great view. The dress circle at the Grand can be mixed. Sometimes I can be really comfortable there and sometimes it feels a little bit more squashed. Hip room wise it was fine, leg room wise it was fine. I don't know if it helped that no one was sitting in front of me, so there was no like pushback on the seat, but I was comfortable throughout the entire show. So all was good in that hood. Moving on to age guidance and running time. Age guidance for the entire show, as far as I know, is 13 plus. This is, I assume, down to some of the content matter, which we'll get into in a minute, but it isn't one for a young audience, just down to certain things. And in relation to running time, my favourite poster that you ever see when you walk into the auditorium at the Grand is the two posters. One which always is the casting information that says, basically suggests that no appearance of any artist can ever be guaranteed, which always amuses me when I go to like a one-person show, because they kind of have to be there, especially if it's like a comedy show. But the other one talks about the performance length and any warnings that they want to give. So for this, it says, wait for it, the performance is approximately 2 hours and 33 minutes including an interval. Not 2 hours and 30 minutes including an interval, no, 33. Which amuses me so hard. On entering the building, I always go and take a picture of the sign, and for this it says welcome, waitress ends 10:05. I think that's pretty much correct. I think I was filming bows about 10:02-ish. So yeah, a decently length, but never a slog. Now on to the content and sensory warnings. Let's do sensory first, because it's quite sensory light, or it feels that way for me because I've probably seen it a lot of the time. But there's no loud noises, especially there's no things that usually cause me bother. If in case I haven't mentioned it recently, things for me that cause me the worry and such is loud noises, chaotic like hubbub like group situations, I've said loud noises, occasionally bright flashing lights, visible guns, violence and the alike. In this one, the only thing that's mentioned on the poster that I mentioned recently is that it contains haze and smoke. I didn't feel like there was a lot of either. If it was kind of very, very light haze / smoke, and very much left itself on the stage. So yeah, in that regard, nothing really to mention. And the volumes of everything weren't necessarily loud. So yeah, if I forgot anything and you were like, hey, you forgot this, feel free to write it down below. Content wise, I did mention it when I said that this is a 13+ show. There is depictions of physical abuse in a relationship. There is also, for obvious reasons, due to the storyline of the show, mentions of pregnancy, which is something worth mentioning in life, just to say. But yes, the relationship between Jenna and her husband is not the best, to put it very, very lightly, and he is quite an overpowering man, especially when they are at home. So it is something to be aware of in the show. So I thought I'd put it in here. It is depicted tastefully, and but at the end of the day it is portraying abuse, and it's something, like I said, to be aware of. But yeah, that is most things I need to say. I've done merch, I've done seat, I've done warnings. Think I've done everything? Question mark. If I have forgotten anything and you have any questions, whether they be big or small, about this show, then feel free to put them in the comments down below and I will strive to get back to you as soon as possible. But that is the nervous guide all done and dusted for this show. Itchy nose. So that means I get to bid you farewell. Sorry, I just rubbed my nose because it's really itchy and now it's bright red. I'm finishing this video as Rudolph. You are welcome. So yeah, without further ado, let's bid you farewell. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you come back. I love you all lots. And the final thing, as always, that we say is thus: so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, and goodbye. Bye everyone.